podcast, where every week I will bring you a deep, rich and clear understanding of where you are now and how to bridge the gap to where you want to be. My name is Amila Kay and the podcast starts now. If you haven't already, click subscribe so you never miss another episode. And in today's podcast, I want to be talking to you about 8 success quotes that I believe will upgrade the way that you're currently thinking. And if you're already thinking in terms of these quotes that I'm going to share with you, then that's awesome. And this will motivate you even further to keep thinking across those lines. So to start being like a successful person, you first have to think like a successful person. Everything starts in our mindset, and from there on, it flows outwards to our habits, our routines, the behavior that we engage in, what we say yes to and what we say no to. These are all the things that come from your thinking, so your mindset. Nothing starts from your behavior, routine, and rituals and then they impact your mindset. No, it starts from the mindset and flows onwards. So my question for you is, do you have big goals that you want to achieve? Do you have goals that you will want to achieve? And are those goals seemingly big to you right now? Do you sometimes feel like you're behind schedule and you're not quite where you want to be when it comes to achieving your goals? Or maybe like many of us, myself included, you fear that you may not have what it takes to meet your goals. And so you just scrub them out and you rub them off and pretend that you don't really care about them anymore. Whereas if you knew you couldn't fail and you knew you could achieve those goals, you would definitely still keep them. So success is not reserved for a few people. It's not reserved for what we often say are the lucky ones. Success is available to every single human being in the way that they want it. The truth is, normal people who are consistently making good choices that propel them in the direction of their goals are going to enjoy massive success, whatever that looks like to that individual person. Success is, it's something that is relative to how we perceive it. So what could be success for me could maybe not be success for you. And what is success for me may not be what, Warren Buffett thinks of as success. We all have our own individual and unique ideas and definitions of what success means to us. And so for that reason, I'm not going to tell you what success is. You know what success is. Success, I think very generally, can be defined as realizing and achieving your own goals, whatever they are. So in the realizing of them and then in the achieving of them, and that continuous cycle that goes on for as long as you live. So realizing new goals and achieving new goals, and who you become in that process, more than what you achieve at the end point, is what I believe to be success. So here are 8 quotes that I've chosen. I believe that these are intensely paradigm shifting and that they're going to put your mind where you would want your mind to get your engine running and revving up to support you in the goals that you want to achieve. So number 1, don't give up. We've all heard of this one. Steve Jobs said, if you really look closely, most overnight successes took a long time. And this is so true. And I've shared this on previous podcasts where a lot of people from the outside think that's an overnight success. That person got lucky. Well, that just happens to some people and definitely not to me. What a lot of us don't take the time to discover and understand is all the work that was put in that we didn't see. The sleepless nights, the tight budget, maybe even being on the brink of being homeless. There are so many things, the sacrifices that people have to make to achieve what we see on the outside as success. And so if we looked a lot closer, those overnights, and I say that quote, overnight, unquote, successes did actually take a really long time, a lot of dedication, a lot of consistency, and a lot of determination and grit to see it through. Dr. Angela Duckworth, she did a research study that grit, so perseverance and passion for long-term goals, is actually what predicted success better than anything else. So how much perseverance and passion do you have towards your long-term goals? Do you care how long it takes you to achieve them? Or is it no matter what, no matter how long it takes me, and no matter how many times I fail, I will reach this goal because this goal matters to me because, and then insert your why. Why does it matter to you to achieve this? Because if you don't have a strong enough why, you're not going to make it. I'll tell you that right now. When your challenges come and you become complacent, that goal is not going to matter anymore. You're just going to push it off to the side and pretend it was never there. And no one who quits a goal will ever achieve it. So long as you say, I will never ever quit, and you hold it in your mindset that you will never quit, and you don't know how long it's going to take you to achieve this goal, but you will persevere because your passion to achieve this is so strong and important to you, then you will achieve it. No one has achieved anything by quitting. You have to be truly relentless in achieving your goals. And so that is why your goals should always reflect what is important to you and not what is important to other people. Not what other people told you should do or who you should be or what kind of goals you should achieve. Because none of that is going to matter when you're fighting for your goal. Number 2, be consistent. Brian Tracy says, successful people are just those with successful habits. So when you're chasing your goals, and these goals might take months, they might take years, they might take decades to accomplish, your greatest enemy is going to be complacency. When we let days, weeks, months, maybe even years go by without us making any step forward in the direction that we want to go in. What steps are you taking to push you forward? Every day, are you even dedicating 15 minutes out of 24 hours where you do something small or big that pushes you one step closer towards your goal? And so don't let complacency get in the way between you and your goal, regardless of how big it is, regardless of how small it is, and regardless of how long it may take you to get there. So set yourself up for daily progress where you've got productive habits, sustainable habits that you do, where you do a little bit every single day to get you eventually to your goal. And remember that it's the small wins that lead to the big results. It's those little steps that will eventually get us much further up the staircase than someone who takes 1 or 2 steps once a month or once every 6 months. Number 3, failure is normal. Please be okay with failing. Please be okay with being rejected. Failure and rejection is something that innately as human beings we fear so much that it paralyzes us. Or in actual fact, we need to reassess and redefine the relationships we have with what we think is failure and with what we think is rejection. Winston Churchill said, "Success is the ability to go from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm." So a lot of us will know of the Dyson vacuum cleaner. So Sir James Dyson, he has an estimated net worth of $4.2 billion. But do you know how many prototypes he had and that he failed at before he created the Dyson vacuum cleaner as we know it today? I'll tell you right now, 5,126 prototypes failed. That means 5,126 times James Dyson failed in making the vacuum cleaner. But look at the vacuum cleaner now, and look at what he's worth right now. All because he did not let any one of those 5,126 failures stop him from achieving his goal, which was to invent the bagless vacuum. He learned from each experiment. On every one of those attempts, he found what didn't work and what did work. And that's how he molded this incredible bagless vacuum cleaner that we have today, the Dyson. Without letting those failures stop him, without letting those failures curb his enthusiasm and his passion. He didn't let any of those things get in the way. He said failure, or I imagine that he said, I don't know that he said this, but any successful person will see failure as this approach didn't work. What I just did now didn't give me the result that I'm looking for. So I have to keep changing it and doing something different until I finally get the result that I want. And getting the result that we want is what we call as success. Not getting the result that we want is what we tag as failure. When in actual fact, it just means that this approach that you took and this strategy that you didn't work this time. Try again. And so it should just be about try again, try again, try again, try again. This is great because now I know what doesn't work. This is awesome because I've ruled out yet another way that this doesn't work, which means I am one step closer to making this work. Whatever that is for you. That is the kind of mindset we need to have to be comfortable with failure and be okay with it and to expect it. Expect failing. And just get over yourself and keep pushing forward until you get the result that you want. And don't push forward by doing the exact same thing. James Dyson did not do the exact same thing 5,126 times over again. He changed it. He did it 5,120, obviously in the end, 7 attempts before he found the design that he was looking for. So how many times are you going to let yourself fail, quote unquote, fail, before you get the result that you want? The key is don't give in. Don't give up. Expect failure. Successful people fail far more times than the average person because they will do and try whatever it takes until they get there. The question is, are you willing to do the same? Am I willing to do the same? The things that I say are important to me, how many times am I going to keep pushing forward until I get there? How many failures am I going to allow myself to feel and confront before I get to my goal? And it's quotes like this that remind us to keep going, to just keep swimming, as Nemo says. Next one, ego stunts growth. So it doesn't, Mark Cuban said, it doesn't matter how many times you fail, you only have to be right once. And then everyone can tell you that you are an overnight success. See, the world's greatest inventors, innovators, storytellers, entrepreneurs have all walked a similar path. And that is, they looked incredibly stupid until they looked incredibly smart. And so here it's, if you want to succeed faster, you have to get comfortable and embrace looking stupid right now. So try things, learn new things, put yourself out there, get out of your freaking comfort zone and do things and expect to fail. Failure is the tuition you pay so that you can become a master in your field. Next, reject imaginary limits. Mark Twain said, all you need in this life is ignorance and confidence, and then success is sure. So, according to the science of self-efficacy, Believing you can accomplish a goal is a crucial first step in you achieving it. Every single person has things that they're good at and things that they're not good at. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses. Your weaknesses are not going to just disappear overnight. And for some of us, they're not going to disappear ever. It's something we're constantly going to have to work on. But it's normal people who are able to accomplish amazing things every single day in spite of their weaknesses, in spite of something they know they're not comfortable with, something that they're not naturally good at, something that they have to use a lot of energy to do. This is how you become successful. And you have to start with believing that you can. Believing that you can is the seed that you're planting in the soil. Next one, own your results. The best years of your life are the ones in which you decide your problems are your own. You do not blame them on your mother, your father, the ecology, or the president. You realize that you control your own destiny. Now, that's not word for word quoted, but that is by Albert Ellis. If you're feeling like you're trapped under this burden of unmet potential that you have, stop waiting for someone else to rescue you, for someone else to give you the opportunity. You have to rescue yourself. You have to seek the opportunity, create the opportunity. Don't wish that you're going to get better. Find a way to get better. Cultivate it. Stop waiting for a lucky break. Prepare yourself and put in the work that needs to be put in and create the opportunities for yourself and find the opportunities. Seek the opportunities that you need to expand and grow and go move towards the goals that you want to achieve. And more importantly, even than that, is to move towards the human being that you want to be. Do we control everything? Absolutely not. But the things that we are in control of, so many of us don't use properly. We don't use that control properly. And that one of those things that is most applicable to what I'm talking about right now is the control you have over your mindset. The control you have over the kind of information that you're feeding your brain every single day. What kind of things are you listening to? Things that are helping your mindset get stronger, things that are giving your mind more tools and resources to be the person that you want to be or achieve the goals that you want to achieve, leave the impact that you want to leave? Or are you feeding your brain with useless information and TV and deteriorating music that is actually taking you further and further away from the person you actually want to be and from the goals that you actually want to achieve? Are you distracting yourself or are you empowering yourself? Next, do what you love. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you're doing, you will be successful. Herman Cain said that. And I've heard that he's a controversial figure. However, I wholeheartedly agree with this quote. If we are happy, this will be our key to success. If we love what we are doing, we are going to be successful at it because we are going to put 110% more than everything we have. We're going to dig deeper beyond what we think we have available to make that a success. So what makes you happy? How often are you doing that? How often are you finding ways to do the things that make you happy? And notice how that happiness that is created from you doing and engaging in those activities, how is that helping you be a more successful human being? So do what you love. And number 8, this is the last quote as I wrap up this podcast for today. Live boldly. Helen Keller said, life is either a daring adventure or nothing. How are you playing safe in your life? What are you protecting? Life is so short, and being full of pride and protecting our ego and protecting how we appear in front of other people is the most stupidest thing I can think of. And so what I'm talking to you about today has recently really made a huge shift in my mindset. And of course, then the actions that I've taken and the decisions that I've made and my outlook on things. And I want to share that with other people because this might be something that you need to hear right now. Or you know someone who needs to hear this message. This week, are you going to work for what you want? Especially when it scares the shit out of you? Tell me, share with me in the comments, reach out to me. How are you going to live boldly? How are you going to dare to do something that scares you? And that's it. If you liked today's message, please leave me a review, comment, or subscribe, as this helps the podcast reach more people who may find this beneficial and interesting. My vision is to help as many people possible to help them understand themselves and others better, and to have the tools to create the life they desire. As always, thank you so much for tuning in with me. Always choose gratitude, and goodbye for now.